What a game. The Indiana Fever snap the New York Liberty's undefeated streak.
The word undeniable exists for a reason, and it applies to Caitlin Clark. She is just absolutely undeniable, and her return to the Indiana Fever showed it once again. It felt like a jolt of energy to the WNBA, obviously to the Indiana Fever.
The WNBA recently produced the most, an embarrassing error in the history of sports. Following Caitlin Clark's injury recovery, they completely destroyed the defense. Liberty, the champion, scored 32 points. Decided she required a drug test in a suit. 11 times this season, it seems the response on the internet was quick, harsh, and the league is now utterly comical, confronting criticism they didn't anticipate. You believe that the WNBA is genuinely attempting to undermine their own greatest celebrity, or are they simply happen to be this incompetent?
I'm gonna say it. Caitlin Clark is the best basketball player in the world. She's the best basketball player that I have ever seen. She is the difference maker. She is the needle mover. She is the face of basketball right now. It's really hard not to recognize the difference that she makes on the Indiana Fever, a team that was obviously struggling with playmaking, struggling with pacing, struggling with the things that make us want to watch. And she steps into that court, and in the first quarter, she made...
First, let's review the facts, because they sound so silly. Caitlin Clark's made-up return from a 5-game injury absence results in a 32-point loss. She leads the reigning champs team to an unexpected triumph that makes a statement. The unbeaten streak of New York and her compensation for this outstanding achievement. Is the 11th drug test required this season, based on reports for the majority of WNBA players undergo testing 3 times throughout the regular season, and once during the off-season.
And Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got Caitlin Clark to fire away from 2 players with incredible...
In the WNBA office examined Clark's statistics sheet and reportedly considered 32 points. She must be on after missing 5 games. Something unlawful because, of course, being exceptionally talented and preparing for it couldn't possibly explain at basketball. Her performance had to be performance-enhancing substances at the social media responses were swift, and one user harshly said she tested positive for goat blood, which is actually possibly the most precise drug test outcome in the history of athletics. Another stated, Scott Foster ought to be drug tested while they're engaged in what is likely the biggest sensible recommendation that someone has made about WNBA officiating throughout the season. However, my personal favorite answer came from someone stating that they need to have conducted a DNA test instead to determine whether she's truly human since, let's face it, Clark's actions against the Liberty looked incredible, making 3 three-pointers. 38 seconds to begin the game, which is... The video shows abnormal human behavior. The timing of the game, things couldn't be more untrustworthy or humiliating. For the 5 games are missed by Lee Clark due to against the best, a quad injury returns team in the league, and right away reminds everyone of her role as the spokesperson for her return to professional basketball. Wasn't only excellent, it was historic. With 17, the Fever set a franchise record. Clark's three-pointers gave the impression that she never went away, and the whole basketball the world recalled the reason they tuned into. Observe her play and the reaction of the league. Let's ensure she isn't defrauding though, because to the poor optics, the Titanic appear to be a small navigational error. You have the player who is your biggest star alone boosted the number of viewers and brought women's rights into the public eye. Basketball, and you handle her as though she's a suspected criminal following her best performance on the drug test in weeks. The WNBA's protocol is allegedly 11 random tests for a single player in a one season begins to appear less arbitrary and more akin to intimidating other gamers. Undergo the necessary 3 tests. If they're unlucky, Clark might be 4. Apparently, the premium bundle, accompanied by a post-game specimen, gathering following outstanding performances.
Good job. Squad needed it. Played Fever way. I love it. More of them.
Let's discuss what truly transpired in the Liberty game due to the performance was so excellent that it seems caused a drug test, and Clark emerged, firing from the first tip that hits. In the first quarter, 3 logo threes. Brianna Stewart gave her a 5 for it. Feet of space and continuing to observe when the ball passes past the net, it's not. Chemical augmentation is a skill unto itself, paired with the type of assurance that distinguishes superstars from ordinary gamers. The creative aspect of Clark's performance was more than simply her score. Planned the entire offense that was produced.